welcome to my channel. My name is Eva, this is the Inked Reader, aka me, Eva, and I just wanted to do an update version of this, to upload an updated version of this with my new intro that I had since like, I don't know, 7-8 months ago. And I just wanted to utilize this video in explaining what I do on this channel, if it makes sense. So I am clearly a book lover, as the title suggests. Now my title says The Inked Reader. Yes, I initially chose that name because I've got tattoos, although they're not on display at the moment. So what I read though is, yes, books, and I also read graphic novels and manga. I think throughout the month, when it comes down to quantity, I read half books, half manga and graphic novels. So the numbers equal. I kind of tend to balance both. My favorite genre are fantasy and true crime, probably. So I love non-fiction, but especially true crime. I also read a lot of literature fiction and a lot of thriller crime books that can be both fiction and non-fiction, as I said. In terms of graphic novel and manga, it's pretty much the same. I'd say the fantasy and horror are my favorite genre. I do also read horror books. I love horror. What I read basically none of are romance. I used to read a lot and now I don't, unless it's a urban fantasy with an element of romance. So I still like my books to have a romantic element, to have a couple, or like a ship, whatever you want to call it, but I don't tend to read literature fiction that's either contemporary or romantic and erotica. Like, just if they're just there and they don't have an added element of thriller or fantasy, I wouldn't reach out for them at this moment in time. I did in the past. Said that, yes, throughout last year, for example, I might have read 4 romance book, 4 new adult romance book. So the odd one happens, but it's not routine. It's not something I reach out for. Classics is the same. Classic I've read more last year and it was both hit and misses. I do want to increase my classics and the classics that I read, but I am not obsessed with classics. I had read a few Italian classics growing up in school, in university, and I enjoyed them, but I'm not someone who routinely or usually pick up a classic unless it's part of my bookshelf, TBR, which is what I'm gonna cover next. So what I am doing this year, 2022, and will continue on to do in 2023, is a bookshelf TBR, meaning that I've numbered my shelves behind me and on other parts of the house, and I pick a random number each month, and that month I have to read all the books that are unread on that shelf. The rules are though that if a book on that shelf is not up, is a book in a series to which I'm not up to that point, I can skip it. Otherwise, all the books on that shelf I'll attempt to read in that month. I've done a whole video with rules and all of that. It's more explained in detail, so I'm gonna link it down below. This is what I'm gonna also do in 2023. Sorry, before I forget, I also wanted to mention that I read mostly adult fiction. However, I am subscribed to Fairyloot, so each month they send me a YA book, which I try to attempt, sometimes fail, to read throughout the month. So I think on average, 1/3 of the books I read are YA and mostly are adult, and I rarely to basically almost never read middle grade as of now. I divide my graphic novel and manga content to my book content most of the times, just because I know the audience might differ, but also for the sake of keeping the video at a reasonable length. And what I usually do, I do a TBR, shelf TBR for my books, and then a wrap-up separately at the end of the month, and then I do a wrap-up and TBR for graphic novel and manga each month. I have an intro with statistics, so I don't discuss statistics verbally. I just have my intro, my statistics in my wrap-ups, and then I start speaking. And usually I put them in order from my least enjoyable read of a month to the most enjoyable read of a month. And this is what I do. I have full-time work, family, and so on, so my schedule of uploads, I tend to stick to weekly uploads. Do I always manage to? No, sometimes I do fail, but I like to put content out on my channel when I have content. This is what I'm gonna stick to for the reasonable future. I don't want to create content just to get views. Booktube in this case is a passion, is a hobby. It's not my main job. It's never going to be my main job probably. And very few of us are that lucky. So I need to balance everything in my life. And I also don't want to put content on for the sake of, again, views. So I don't want to force myself to read anything that I wasn't gonna read even if I didn't have a channel, because I don't think I can come up as honest, or I wanna enjoy myself while reading these things. I wanna challenge myself sometimes in reading certain things, but overall I read because that's my self-care, this is my self-love, it's how I love myself, by reading and doing what I love doing, which is reading and sometimes writing. So I don't want to force myself to create content just for the sake of creating it and put out content constantly. So I think this is the balance I found. I hope it works for the viewers as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. I think that's all I wanted to put in an intro video. I'm quite chaotic as a reader, meaning that I shift, change, my mood change, I change as a person, so I might pick up books now that I wouldn't years ago and vice versa, and I can presume that I will change in the future. So if you're okay with a chaotic reader, meaning that this channel is not specific fantasy, this channel is not specific horror, this channel is not specific true crime or thriller by some mesh of those things, then you're more than welcome to stick around. Hope you click on the subscribe button and join me in the comments for discussion and create this amazing community that in the last year has been growing, and has been amazing chatting with all of you in the comments. And if chaotic reading is not for you, then thank you for watching this video and wish you all the best. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. Hopefully I'll see you next time, but for now, take care. Ciao!